Good day, everybody. I am doing finally our Santa Sleighs. What we are going to do is, this is what the Santa Sleigh looks like when it's finished. At the bottom it's got candy canes, which are the skis that it stands on, and this one is fully embellished with little presents and everything. The inner here is a separate piece we add, and if you lift the tongue up, inside you've got place to put presents or sweets or lollies or biscuits or anything like that. Now these are, well, not these, but 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I made about 16 of these, and I gave them to my friends as Christmas presents with homemade biscuits in them. See, I've got a bit of a shadow here. Let me try and get rid of this. Put more light on this subject. I don't know if that's going to help. That'll help a little bit. So what we're going to do is, what you need for this project at this stage, what I'm going to show you is how to take a 2-litre bottle. There's my 2-litre milk bottle. It's a bit dirty, but it is clean. It's been washed out. And turn it into one of these. So what we need in the beginning is 2-litre milk bottles. You decide how many you want to make and have as many during the year. Collect milk bottles, wash them straight after you've emptied them, and then you need to keep them, or you can cut them as you get them and then stack them. I found you can stack two once you cut it, one inside the other, in a box, so that when Christmas time comes, or maybe mid-term holidays before Christmas, you can have them ready to be made. What you first need to do with your milk bottle is we cut out. So for this you need a Stanley knife or a good pair of scissors that you can cut out the handle. So you're cutting around the side here, cutting here, you're cutting it straight off there. You can leave this whole thing if you like. It actually can look quite nice, or you can just even it off around lower down. Keep the corks on because this gives the integrity for the top piece. So yes, a Stanley knife. After you've cut your bottle, you need some paper and a pencil, or so we've cut our bottle, so we need paper and either a Sharpie or a pencil would do, and you draw the pattern. Now the previous year I cut out the pattern separately, so I made, I did a piece that went all the way around, went from here of fabric, all the way down and all the way across and up here, and then I cut the two sides separately and glued them on. This year I changed it up and I did a pattern where it was all in one. It's up to you how you want to do it, but what I would do is you find a position on here on your paper, and you we start like this, but you need that top flap, so you do, bring it this way, do it like this. And then on a separate piece of paper you just do this bottom piece and the top piece, which when you stick it in you glue it all together. Or as I say, you can do it separately, and the one that I did with everything together looks like this. I don't actually have a pattern from the previous one. And then there's a separate piece that I cut for the flap on the top, the side, the top flap and the piece that comes over. Then you need, after that you've cut out your pattern, You need red fabric. I use it's like a t-shirt with brushed cotton or brushed poly cotton mix. Here's the flat piece for that back piece and the top to go over the top. And I use the fluffy side out. So this is one that I've cut out already. This one's actually got everything on it with the back piece. This one here is from another bun that I did separately. So for the next stage of your bottle preparation, you need glue. And for this we use Craft and Hobby PVA glue. This one dries clear, which is better. I've got another one. I do have a full bottle of this, don't worry. This we got at Hello Banana here in New Zealand, but I'm sure your art shop or $2 shop or what's a Dollar General or whatever it is in America has it. In the UK I'm really not sure, but I'm sure you can get them around. And the fabric, I found after Christmas in the charity shops, whether it's Salvation Army or Hospice or one of these, you can sometimes pick it up. Or just pre-Christmas, you can find, they bring out little blankets and things like that of pre-cut fabric, cut a meter square or whatever it is like this, which people probably buy to make Santa sacks or other things, and I found it was relatively cheap, and one can just get that. So that is for the second stage. You also need, if you have got or can get, I just want to grab it, is some brown fabric. Now this I normally sew together. This one I took because it's got like lines on it, so I thought, oh, that looks like a bit woody like. And what I normally do is I stitch it along here, and you cut out a piece that looks a little bit like this. I've used plastic, corrugated plastic. I'm sure if you use corrugated cardboard it would work just as well. And when we come to doing our sleigh, that's the piece that goes in. But the corrugated gives it that you can bend it and shape it and that. And that we stick on for the closure here. Oops. So that when we put this in, for the sleigh, made it look like the seat piece, it'll fit in there and it bends nicely. You can bend it however you want it. And for that you need either some, I wouldn't use, well, you could use masking tape, or duct tape or something like that. I've got this tape, it's a type of duct tape, and it sticks fast. So you stick, first thing you will do when you start is just stick. You can do it by hand, or you can, you see I've just overlocked it along there, then turn this right way around, and then I'll put my corrugated piece will fit, slide in there, and then I'm ready to start with covering this milk bottle. I find, as I say, the first, you don't need to put this in right now if you don't want to. What I would do is start with putting your base piece of your fabric on, put your glue on the bottle, your PVC, and then you'll glue the first part of the bottle to that. I would do it just before this flap. You may find you need to trim it, and you may even need to trim the top piece. This is not very straight, so I'm going to just take a pair of scissors and just straighten this a little bit more. I don't want to cut too much off. Let's cut a little bit just to straighten that a bit better as it goes around there. I just want to find another one that I did cut out. I know I have got here a few that were cut out. I think one that was cut out. This one. Previous year, the way I cut them out, where I showed you that separate piece, was like this. I did the two sides and the back piece, and then I brought up that separate piece. So that went on like this. As you can see, I didn't quite get all the way there, but this went around here, and then this piece went up around there. And then I added, as I say, this top piece separate, which was, oh, where's that piece gone to now? Is that what fell on the floor? Where did it go to? Sorry, was here a minute ago. That was that single piece I had, and then it disappeared. Oh, there you go. And then this piece came along and I glued it onto there. So that's another way you can cut, as I say, that's one way you can cut out another way you can cut out your pattern. Another way, if it's going to be easier, especially if you're getting the young ones to do it, maybe to cut all the pieces out separately. And the way I did that one was I cut out my bottom piece, as I said, all the way along. So this piece went around like this. It's a bit long, but you can always trim it shorter. It's better to do that, you've got more to play with. And then I did the side pieces separately to be glued on. So as I said, there's several ways you can cut out the fabric. You may find this is easier if you're getting your youngsters to do it for Christmas. That you can cut out all the pieces for them and they can actually do the gluing. And it's a project for them. School holidays, bad weather, rainy weather, take it out and do it for Christmas. And they could be helping with the Christmas decorations, present giving. Could say, you know, to give somebody else a present. Oh, let's do that and we can give somebody else a present. So that is another alternative way that you can actually do cutting out the actual pattern pieces. These were from the previous year. I've found a way that it was easier for me to do it. And then finally we'll show you on a separate video the embellishment side. So you need red, as I say, red fabric, brown fabric, your corrugated cardboard, whether it's plastic like this one is. I like to recycle, so for me this is my little bit on recycling board so that I can use it in another project. I really believe that we should be recycling more stuff, and I think this sleigh could use it again and again. You don't need to use it just for one Christmas. You could maybe keep it for the young kids for 2-3 Christmases as a reusable way of packaging. I was watching somebody else, they were doing an advent calendar. Another nice idea. You could every day from, I think it's the 1st of December, Advent begins. You normally buy a card and you open little windows with pictures in, or some of you got nice ones with, people buy more expensive ones with drawers in and you put little sweets in it. There's quite a few around depending on your budget. If you can't afford that, you could make a whole lot of these, and every day, or just put a numbers on the 1 to 12 or 1 to 20, I think goes to the 24th of December, and each day you have lollies or sweets in it, wrapped ones, biscuits maybe, little toy for the kids, and however many children you got in the house, you have one for each, and there's enough there to hide them behind in this little back piece, and even the bottom you can put stuff. So you could turn, as I say, make 2 dozen of these, and then on Christmas Day these stockings get filled with, so this is just a to Christmas with the Advent calendar. Yeah, there's just so many ways you can use this. You could keep them under the tree. Somebody arrives, you've got to buy them a Christmas present. You say, oh, look what Santa left you. Another idea for a nice little unexpected, as I say, somebody unexpected arrives and you've got to suddenly find a gift. And this way you could just, it's cheap to make. It's, and it's, as I said, depending what you put in it, lollies or biscuits or whatever, it's a cheap way to have it, just a quick present to give somebody who's unexpectedly arrives. And, oh, I forgot to get them something. Put chocolates in it, that's also well. But don't put it in a warm place, otherwise the chocolates will melt. Anyway, let's begin with part 1. So as I've said, what you need in the beginning is your milk bottles, some cardboard or plastic card like this, cut into a tongue shape. You just need to measure the size of your opening, really. It's just to measure this opening and how it'll fit in there, how you want to bend it or get it to fit into this area. And I just push it just inside like that and use it. You can come forward a bit further forward if you want to as well. When you tape it on the end here, you can tape it up, just whatever suits you when you finally covered it. Some people may want to cover the inside. Now the inside is similar to the out. You cut up your fabric, make another pattern and glue it all inside. I don't bother. I found it was harder to do, and at the time I didn't have much time. But you could also do that, is just cover all the inside of the bottle, but I feel doesn't really need all that extra work done to it. It's fine just the way it is. You could also wash your labels or take your labels off, but that's also not necessary because you're going to cover it up. And if your milk bottle's clean, I don't see a reason to spend extra money on lining it for extra fabric. Just doing the outside should be fine. So trim this one up a bit more. I see it's a little bit jagged. A few uneven ends, so you just lift it up. And kids, if you're doing it, don't ask Mummy which scissors you could use to cut plastic and paper with, because she might have special scissors for fabrics, and if you go off cutting with her favourite scissors, you will not be popular. So for that you need your milk bottles, your Stanley knife to cut the bottles with, and kids, if you need to use sharp knives on that, also ask Mummy, ask your parents to help you. We don't want people chopping fingers off. Pair of paper or plastic scissors. We need some paper, big sheet of paper, or you could use A4 sheets and stick them together, on which you're going to use a pen, a Sharpie or a pen to draw a pattern. So that is the beginning. Once you've cut your pattern out, you can either use dressmaker's chalk or normal chalk will work, and you take your fabric and put your pattern on to it. Let's find a biggish piece here, and you push your put your pattern that you've cut out on top there, and with the chalk you can mark it out. This way you can see I actually use Sharpie, and the Sharpie came on the side. So but whatever way you're going to do your pattern, and try not to waste too much fabric. Try and do it that you can use like if you're going to use a pattern like this, you're going to put that piece side in there, and the other side, oops, where is the other side? Where's the other side? The other side you could maybe put like that, so you're wasting a little less fabric. Just try and, get it that it all works. Maybe go up a bit. Let's do it rather over there, shall we? So you're trying to save as much fabric as possible and waste less. And then these, so it's doing it this long way. The long piece, you just cut out your longer pieces with it. So however you want to do it, cut it, and then you start your gluing. I'm going to use up some of these that I pre-cut out previously. I'm just looking for one here. I'm going to be using this one now to show as we put a bottle together, and I'll glue it up and you can have a look and see. For this one I'm going to use an all-in-one piece pattern which I cut out previously, and with my PVC glue and the empty bottle, I'm going to start gluing. I don't know how much glue is left in this bottle. And I'm actually going to be putting the glue onto the back of the milk bottle. So I'm going to sit, I'm going to leave this one upside down for the glue to go all down to the bottom. And we can use this other one quickly. Let's start using this other one. So we're going to just put our glue on. I'm just going to go up to this neck piece because that I'll do later. I'm just going to put a nice lot of glue on here so that my fabric will stick. And then I'm going to take it and place it onto, it's the wrong way around. I'll see you the wrong way around. Place it here in the center. So this must be centered on there. And we'll place that there, and we'll pick up this piece here, and we let this piece dry, like so. A little bit. Then we can glue this side. Oops. Oh, that piece on. Do the same with the sides. Just take the glue and cover it well. And up into the top here. And you glue the two sides like so. I would leave all these pieces because you're going to need to go back, and when you glue it you may find you got pieces you can trim. So like here, when we start doing around here, I want to trim, cut a circular piece out there and trim this as I glue it around there, and just tidy that up. If it's over like this, don't worry, you can trim it or just stick it on the inside and glue it inside. That's not a problem either. And if you want to, in the meantime, glue this up and try and just make sure that the edges here meet, although you are going to add trim. So if they don't quite meet, when you add your trim up the back, you can always hide it, like here where the join is, you've got some nice trim or ribbon or something there. And you get the other side up on there, you grab your tongue and you stick it up onto here, and you want to keep it straight. Well, let's grab some tape. I'll just stick that onto there. What do I need? I need it. Oops, there, there, oops, there. Okay. I need 2 pieces. Let's just have a look. I'm going to take this like this and glue it onto here. Bend it in. Just make sure it sticks. And it needs to come forward a bit more. It's just this end piece. Let's do that end piece over. If you want to make this a bit smaller, you can do. I made mine maybe a bit long, but it's all right. And then, especially when you stick that on, and that's stuck in there. Oops, I need to go over. I see, do it just before you do your side pieces. But if the glue's still damp like this is, you can just lift it and then just glue it. So that's glued on there. And then glue this side, and as I say, you glue all these other pieces up and around until you get to this stage. And as you see, I've got everything up and around. I've glued over to make sure that the edges are covered. This piece here is a little bit long, so we're just going to trim it. I'm going to leave maybe a little bit here and just cut it. And this I've glued over, but also I need to trim it. This one I did a bit longer with this cup piece. And then you just join it. And you can put embellishment all around here, make it look pretty with your ribbons and whatever. I just need to glue that back together again and tidy this one up. And as I say, trim this piece, which I'll do quickly now. Using my fabric scissors. These ones are only used for fabric. Just trim it neatly across there. Straight. I'm just going to trim this a little bit out. Maybe like that. And this piece, just trim it. Whoops, sorry. And you see, once the tongue is stuck in, it's out of the way. So it's not in your way while you're busy gluing and working on all the little bits of trim you might need to do. Then once you have finished this one here, it's all nicely glued. This one I trimmed a bit much. But what I did do is I cut here and I glued the excess in there. As I say, you can trim it off higher up if you like. Just when you do, if you do it inside, just use some paper clips just to hold it so that it doesn't flap up, and you wait till it to dry. And then we go on to the next step, which is the embellishments. I will go through what you need for the embellishments and show you what I have got and go through ideas as well.